All right, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our walkthrough of CCA 12.8 Service Pack 3. Just a quick reminder, since many of you are not on the phone line, if you have any questions along the way while our speakers are presenting, please feel free to use the Q&A function in Webex. If you don't see a Q&A box in the lower right of your screen, if you look in the upper right of your screen, you'll see a question mark icon. Just click on that, and the Q&A box will open up, and you can ask your questions right in there. And with that, I will hand off to you, sir.
Thanks, Len. Thanks for that. So let's get started. I think we're over in 1 minute anyways. Good day, everyone. I'm Vinay Chittimalla, Senior Product Manager. I also have Vishwanath and Raja from engineering team who would help me through the demo and also any of the Q&A. So this particular presentation is basically to make everyone in sync and in par with what we have as part of CCA 12.8 SP3. So the main aim of this particular presentation is to help you understand and just give a high-level demo on how easy it is to basically upgrade or use 12.8 SP3, the upcoming release. So this is a standard CA disclaimer. So the purpose of this slide is like things might change, and this particular presentation, right, is only for your information and should not be shared with anyone. So this is a normal CA standard disclaimer. The agenda for this meeting is very simple. So first, I would start off with introducing you to the CCA 12.8.3 marquee features. Then, I'll give a high-level overview on what's next coming in CCA. Then it'll be followed by a demo and a Q&A session. So I don't want to waste much time on the initial part of it because I think the demo is key for all of us. So I'll just go very fast with the slides I have, and then I'll hand it over to Vishwanath to take over the demo after that. So first, in terms of the features, right, the main theme which was behind CCA 12.8 SP3 was to provide better supportability, enhance the scalability and performance of some of the key integrations, and features of CCA. So this is the main theme. It was like scalable, performant, and better scalability and good performance. So with that theme in mind, right, we have picked up two main marquee features. They were like CCA SDM point-to-point integration. Like this is one of the very widely used deployment in the field. So with this new integration, we wanted to move away from Catalyst as there is no or limited support for that. Also, like we identified that this is far more scalable with basically the new integration, right? The point-to-point integration. It's far more scalable and also better performant. What I mean by better performant is that the number of CIs or the rate of the CS transfer, right, from CCA to CMDB is like it has increased drastically. So that's what I mean by making it more performant. And also you might be well aware with the Catalyst thing, right? So it's damn tough to set up that particular environment. So with this point-to-point integration, it has become it's a cakewalk right now for us. You could probably see that even in the demo. Excuse me. The next story was on migration of the CCA reporting from CABI to JasperSoft. So the existing reporting engine, right, which we were using was CABI 3.3, and they have announced EOS. So we had a lot of issues even with CABI 3.3 when we were using it. So we wanted to move away to anyways it was the end of support, right? So we wanted to move to a newer and a better technology, which was like fairly scalable and which is far better than CABI. So that's why we've chosen JasperSoft. So with this JasperSoft, right, we have found that reporting is highly scalable, and also the report generation is exponentially faster when compared to CABI. So based on internal tests, like we have identified that we could plot more number of CAs than we would have done with CABI, and also generate the report approximately 5 to 10 times faster than CABI. In fact, when Vishwanath would present you this new feature, right, he would basically show the difference between two instances, which is like very clear with how JasperSoft can be scalable and faster. And so in a nutshell, right, this particular release 12.8 SP3, you would basically not find any footprint of CABI and Catalyst, no CABI, no Catalyst anywhere, which were like, I think were considered to be the most complex part in using CCA and basically the CCA use cases, and also the learning curve is very huge. So I think people might be very happy after we release this 12.8 SP3. Next, coming into what are the different epics we're considering for our next release. For this particular piece was to give you heads up that backlog grooming for our next release is in progress, and also the high level. But what I just wanted to give is a high level overview of what the different themes we would like to have as part of 12.8. The release is not at name, so I'll just frame it as next release. So you would be basically finding enhancements around the new integrations. So what we did as part of this release was remove Catalyst. Whatever Catalyst basically supports have the same thing in the point-to-point integration. So this is what we have done as part of this release. But the next release we would provide more enhancements, more customizations. So we would be doing that as part of our upcoming release. And also right now we could integrate, basically have integration with CA SDM, right? So we're thinking to support integrations in a better fashion with other third-party CMDBs too. So that's in our pipeline. Next is provide the ability to import and view custom reports. So right now, most of our customers, when they were using Cabby, right, they were trying to customize the report and see it in Cabby. But right now, with JasperSoft in place, we would basically provide an ability so that you can customize the report and view it within CCA UX. So that's another marquee feature we would have. Then is refactoring our existing blueprints. So managing our blueprints, which is more than 400 plus, has become a nightmare for us. So we wanted to refactor and see what exactly is being used, what exactly is not being used, the naming conventions. There's a lot of things which we need to do in the blueprints front. So we'll be doing that as part of the next release. Then the existing SOAP APIs, right? So with the market trend going into the API directions, so we wanted to invest certain time, effort into enhancing the existing SOAP APIs basically for better integrations with other products. So that we'd be doing. Then there will be certain UX enhancements which we have considered to give a better user experience. And as usual, we would be maintaining platform currency, which is utmost priority for CCA, being a late lifecycle product. And some final words before we get into the demo for today's session, right? So as you all know, right, the community ideation process is very vital for a backlog, and we would encourage you all to post and vote your ideas. So I found that there are some ideas. I'm doing some sort of backlog grooming, and taking those ideas, understanding the feasibility of that, and I'm trying to update it. But I'm a bit slow in that, but because of the recent org changes. But I'll assure that things will be faster going forward. Also, please register and participate in our beta programs to provide an early feedback, which would enable us to, deliver a better quality product, and also handle the customer scenarios and the use cases. And in case any issues or anything, you can mail me, or you can raise support tickets, which is always there. And do mail me if you have any suggestions on new ideas. In case if something goes wrong with your community and you're not able to add anything to communities, just directly mail me so that I can get that going. So with this, let's just directly jump into the demo, because we just have 1 hour time, and I would like most of it to go into the demo. So I'd hand it over to Vishwanath. Vishwanath, it's all yours now.
Okay. Hope everybody are able to hear me.
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, thank you. So here is the first enhancement feature, which is point-to-point integration between CCA and SDM. Currently, prior to 12.8 SP3, the data export from CCA to SDM is in 2 ways. One is via Boxy-based integration. The other one is via Catalyst-based. Is the peer-to-peer integration with the usage of JR Loader API, which is exposed by CA Service Desk. Now the data discovered in CA configuration automation product is in the form of managing target servers by discovering the software components and hardware, network, and storage details. So each of these details is known as a configuration item in terms of CMDB export. Now each of these configuration items is mapped to a target attribute defined in the attribute mapping list. Now, what are these attribute mappings? What are these target CAs? And how these target CAs can be customized using attribute transform mapping model within CCA. We will be shortly seeing in the demo. So with that, after going to the demo, we are going to compare the advantages of the new peer-to-peer integration or the Boxy and Catalyst-based integration. Are you able to view my desktop?
It doesn't look like you're sharing it out right now.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
It's loading. I can tell that you're sharing, but it's not showing up yet. There we go. I can see it now.
Okay, thank you. So the first step here is to let everybody know the installation procedure of CCA, as we have removed the Boxy and Catalyst layers. So it's a very straightforward, and in the new screen would be the SDM Service Desk Manager screen, where we need to provide the details of Service Desk. I'll be using the Oracle as a backend. Just specify the database credentials and table name, database indexes. Oh, these users are not already there, so I'm not using any partition tables right now to ease the installation. I'll be using some ports where the server can get installed. These ports are not used earlier. Okay, I'll leave it to the default at this point of time. This is the EM server details which we need to configure. Either skip during the installation, and post installation you can configure the SDM server details and the username and password, or during the installation you can configure the CA SDM integration here itself. But we recommend to configure at the installation time, so that would be easy. Just provide the SDM server hostname detail, username, and password. Click next. If there is an issue with the connectivity, it will throw error. Otherwise, it will be successful. Now I'm just skipping the agent installation folder so that the installation would be fast. So I'm just clicking the install and it will get installed. Just take a note of it. We do not have any Boxy installation setup right now. It's just only the SDM installation integration panel during the installation. So the Boxy setup is completely remote. While it gets installed in the background, we'll just come here to the documentation and see how to configure an MDR definition and what is an MDR definition. We have documented the complete CCA SDM integration in the wiki. So this will be available as part of the help documentation. CCA, when it gets installed and gets integrated with Service Desk Manager, to identify itself, we need to create an MDR definition in Service Desk. This particular MDR definition identifies CCA with SDM Service Desk Manager so that the data can be exported. Now, SDM can be integrated to any application, external application, but it is the MDR which identifies uniquely a particular application from where the data is getting exported. So such details can be configured in the SDM side just by creating MDR link, give some name, the MDR name would be the CCA server host name. And MDR class is the major release of the CCA, that is CCA 12.8. Provide the hostname details and port of CCA, the path, the URL path, and the parameters. You can provide the username and password here. And this is the launch-in context URL. Finally, where all these parameters are internally substituted here and which helps to identify a particular server or component or a service within CCA when the link is clicked from the SDM side. Just save it. And you can see it here. So this is the new MDR which is defined, which identifies the CCA. So this is a very simple configuration. All these technical terms, what is the button name, what is MDR name, what is MDR class, and who is the owner, host name, port, path, parameters, and whatever we have defined are all clearly documented. So with this, the next step is to just try an export of CCA data to SDM. So this is the login screen. Just log in into CCA. Go to the administration. There is a new tab called SDM integration. And within SDM integration, whatever CIs, configuration items, which the user want to export are all defined in the SDM profile, all SDM attributes profile. If you open this, within the attributes tag, within the attributes tab panel, you have all the attributes, list of all the attributes per each configuration item which you are trying to export is listed out here. So these are all the attributes details which we export as per different configuration item, like server CI, hard drive CI, installed applications, file system details, and NIC details. All the right hand side are nothing but the attributes which are getting exported to service desk. So these are related to components. We have the component details, which are the attributes and their configuration relationships, and also the virtual relationships, which are very important in the real-time scenario, where we discover different ESX servers and different virtual guests and the relationship between them, and configuration relationships between between different hosts, between different applications which are talking to each other, which are very much important in determining the real-time, in representing the real-time scenario. Now all these configuration items, the blueprint structure of these configuration items are defined in attribute mappings. So the component CI configuration items, these are all the CCA attributes, and these are all the SDM attributes. And you can see the file system, hard drive, and install applications. So the relationship between these configuration items are configured in relationship mappings. You can see the component, LPAR, server. The component to component semantic is uses, meaning a relationship between a component to component uses component. Like similarly, server to component. So a server hosts component. Like I have a server called server 1 where I am hosting Windows or Oracle or SQL Server. So all these semantics can be customized. You can just customize it. You can select whatever semantic you want and which is meaningful and applicable to in terms of SDM terminology. Similarly, you have class mappings where each component or each CI type has a predefined SDM class and family here. Like you can see here, IBM WebSphere 5 instance is an application belongs to SDM class called application server, and the SDM family is software.application server. Similarly, I have database components here, MS SQL 2008 server database, which belongs to SDM class SQL, and SDM family software.database. These are all, as you can see the drop-downs, you can customize with appropriate families which are actually embedded in the Service Desk Manager. You can change the families. Out of box, these are all predefined, but if you want, you can change these families. So with that, I'm going to just run the job which is configured here. So I just create a job. I'll say it as test2. The default profile is the all SDM attributes profile. You can customize the profiles as well, but this is the default profile which you are providing out of box. I'll select the server. And select all the components or few components. Like I'll select for simple running, I'll select this component. I'll just try to run this. That's all. You can just verify the log. It says SDM job started, and you can see what are all the CIs which we are trying to export. Hard drive, file system, component, NIC, and their relationships. These are all server to server relationship, component to server relationship, component to service, server to server. Now all these are all part of the server discovery, like how many number of blueprints you discover and those many number of blueprints you add in the job, the respective component CIs and then the respective attributes of them and relationships of them are going to get exported. So you can say the job is finished. The total request XML, which is constructed from the job, is actually stored in this particular location. If the user wants to know like what are all the details which I'm trying to export it, he can go to this location and he can see the XML file which is actually exported. So I have exported a server called imavi01w2k8 to the SDM. Now I'll see. You can see the server is already exported. It's just took a fraction of seconds to get exported. You can see the time as well. So the job started at 8:54 and it was ended by 8:55. It took almost 55 seconds to export the server. And you can see the result here, the server and relationships, CMDB relationship. You can see the communicates with relationships up to the target server. You can see the contains relationships to its network adapter. You can see the host relationships to the Windows component. Similarly, you can have the launch in context URL where it launches directly to the server, and you can see the components which you have discovered and also the relationships and also the configuration. You can compare here from the CCA and you can see in the service desk. This is a very simple operation, a simple integration which is designed in an efficient way when compared to Boxy or Catalyst. You can see the advantages of this. In-house, we have certified the number of CIs, how many number of CIs which we can export per hour. So we have a comparison analysis here. The current design of export of CCA data to SDM requires multiple components to be installed. Like Boxy has a separate, CABI has a separate installation. It's a heavyweight application which requires a dedicated machine and also high amount of CPU and RAM size. Whereas peer-to-peer SDM integration is just a functionality which is part of CCA server. For CABI, the export of CMDB report is there is a separate installer required, and the user interface is not very user friendly. So, whereas a peer-to-peer integration, it's a single user interface and it's just a simple job execution. Now, when it comes to Catalyst server and its container requires high CPU hardware. I mean, the installation makes the environment a heavyweight. Here, in the peer-to-peer integration, there is no additional hardware resources required. It's just part of CCA server itself. And in the Catalyst-based integration, it takes longer duration to complete the job. First, it goes to Catalyst server, and then from Catalyst server to the SDM. So it's a double hop actually. But here, the execution in peer-to-peer is very fast and reliable. It's just only a single hop. So we just tested in-house. 10,000 CIs took 4 hours to get exported into SDM. When we use Boxy, it took for the same amount of CIs, 10,000 CIs, it took 60 minutes. So you can see the difference. This is all about the explanation of SDM, CCA, SDM integration, peer-to-peer integration. Please let me know if you have any questions on this particular integration. Okay, I'll move on to the CCA reports using Jasper API. In CCA 12.8.3, as we have removed the CABI layer, the CABI dependency is removed. Therefore, the execution of CCA reports is now done by help of Jasper API, which is integrated as part of CCA server itself. The UI side functionality and the report actions are not changed. It is as similar to the previous releases. The backend reporting engine and its operating procedures are changed. Like Cabby is removed and Jasper engine is hooked to CCA. So as Cabby is removed, the Crystal report format will no more be available. The exported and the report, any CCA report, there are total 32 report templates, and in total there are 40 reports in the UI. So all these reports can be exported in 4 formats, that is PDF, RTF, XLS, and CSV. So the execution of CCA reports when compared to Boxy is faster. It's very reliable, and you know, there is no manual connection settings of database settings or something like that. It's all part of CCA, one configuration, one installation, and then just a single user interface report run. Unlike Boxy, where you need to have, you know, sometimes based on the database, like for Oracle, you need to set, I mean, you need to install Oracle client or administrator client or instant client and set the connection, logical connection for the SID. So such settings are not at all required. It's just a simple run. So I'll quickly show the demo. First, I'll start with the Boxy report so that I can show you how much time it is taking, and then I can let us take a example of server components where I can where the user can export the details of hardware, network, and storage details into the report. So I just clicked on running the report. Okay, there is some problem with the Boxy server. So, but it took this much of time to run the report, even though the output is an error. Let's come to the Jasper report. CCA UI. So, take the same report again.
Could we run that? Could we run some other report, or is it the problem with the Boxy server?
It's the Boxy server which is having some problem. I'll just correct it, but we can compare it with the Jasper.
Sure, that makes sense. Fine.
I'll take any server. You can see the report. It's very damn quick, and you can view the report.
Wow.
So it just took, you know, it's fraction of seconds, not even less than 1 minute. You can see the report. So you can run any such report. You can come to the report templates. You can save this report. I just saved couple of reports. This is the VM hosting servers. Run it. See how quick it is. And then you can run the agent status report as well. Just run it. So these are all developed using Jasper as a backend. So each report run will have the instances saved here in the instances tab. Uh, the only difference between the Boxy and Jasper is the instances here are downloaded. But Boxy, it's being a separate application. A URL, a separate URL is opened, and the report is rendered, and the user need to save the report onto the desktop if he would like to. But in the current integration, just a click of this link would download the report for you guys. So just single click, and then if you want to schedule the report, it's the same this thing. You can schedule the report once or monthly or hourly or whatever. And if you want the report to send as an attachment, you can do it. Just set the notification profile in the schedule. I'm just selecting the notification profile and then try to run it. You get the notification. You can see the report within the email, which is configured in the email. So there are a lot of advantages of CCA 12.8.3. The operations of reports and also the SDM export operations are a lot quicker or damn fast when compared to the previous integrations. And I just forgot to mention a point in the SDM integration. So the SDM integration, the attribute transform mapping, which is a mapping which can help end user to customize his attributes. I mean, customize his data, how he wants to look at the SDM side. Like, let us say I have a server which is exported here. You can see imav01-vm3-wr2.c.com. Now, let us say, suppose I have exported this data previously using a Boxy-based integration or a Catalyst-based integration. Now, after upgrading to 12.8.3, the first question the customer would be having is, will the data exported, from CCA 12.8.3 reconcile the previously exported data to service desk? So such questions might, they are all valid questions where the data needs to be 100% reconciled. If there is a duplicate, that would be an issue. So to address these things during the installation phase only, CCA, CCA tries to determine whether the previous integration is a Catalyst-based integration or a Boxy-based integration. Based on that, we load the attribute transform properties. Like you can see here, the component, file system, hard drive, and NIC. These are all previously loaded. Now, if my integration is a Catalyst-based integration, I would have a different format sets because the server or the hard drive or the file system using the Catalyst-based integration would have, there would be a slight difference between both. So to reconcile data, during the CCA server takes care during the installation time which attribute transforms to load out of box. But if the customer wants to customize anything, let us say, if I have a server with a fully qualified domain, like this, the name of the server is like a fully qualified domain, and I just want to, I don't want to have a domain name. I just want to have this domainless host name. Then I can easily achieve it. Like just define the attribute mapping here. Just I have the machine which I have shown you is a virtual machine, so the CA type will be virtual. Now I can see this particular transformation should only be applied to the servers which are actually starting with imav01-vm3. I don't want other servers to get affected. So what I can do is I can give a regular expression kind of entry, which is like simply like imav01-vm3. Now, which attribute has to which need to be considered so that the transformation needs to be applied on which particular target attribute? It should be the name, because I am interested only to change this name. Now I can define the format, like how it should work. I can just take the example like, I'll just open another URL. So I can see it here. Now this particular name is actually, I can define it something like this to get the domainless host name here. So I can simply mark it as $of server_name, which classifies that I just want a domainless host name, but not the fully qualified domain name. So I can see it here. Now I got the new transformation which I have applied. Now I'll just simply go to the Jobs tab. I've configured the job, which include this particular server, like imavi01 VM3 WR2. What I'll do, I'll just run this job. So 2 passed. I'll just go to the service desk UI. I'll just refresh it, and you can see I don't have a domainless host name. I have a domainless host name. Like this, you can do. The end user can do any kind of customization by applying the attribute transform. I just shown you a attribute transform which is for a virtual server, which is for a VM. You can do it for a physical server. You can do it for a hard drive. You can do it for file system. You can do it for any component. So these are all the advantages of the peer-to-peer integration. And more number of customizations, we welcome the customers if they have a particular kind of customization. So by just taking the idea whether the ideas are feasible and what kind of customization we can provide, we can improvise more. So kindly let me know if you have any questions so that we can take it up. I'm just stopping the sharing. So
there have been a few questions in the Q&A section, and we have been replying to those. Raja and was replying to those. Do you need to spell that out? Do we need to mention that, or it's visible to everyone, right?
Yeah. For attribute mappings and components, can we map parameter values from config files?
No, basically, there's like almost 5 to 10 questions which are clear. So, Kat, everyone could see that, right? We need not, again tell them.
Yeah, they can see. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, everyone can see them.
Okay.
Unless they sent them privately, and then I've assigned them. So, which was just Ida.
Quick question. Just want to confirm that we can use any type of localization for SDM, and that SDM CCA to SDM integration will work?
That actually you need to use a transformation or a translation file. Yes, if the data which is discovered in CCA, of course, CCA supports UTF-8 characters. So the target SDM would be any localized SDM. But as from the certification point of view, CCA team it's not certifying, but we have provided translation files where the user can add in the administration properties section which translation file he wants to add. It can be from English to Japanese, Portuguese to English to Portuguese. So these translations file can be added, and then the data can be exported to SDM. The target SDM can be any localized SDM.
Okay, so can they also change the actual administration configuration properties section for those mappings right there?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll just show you.
Yeah, it's in the TR file.
Yes.
Way too.
Yes, I can show you that one. Management. administration. Sorry. So group SDM. I have something called other options where I can specify the EF, and then I'll have the translation files embedded within CCA installation. So those translation files are available here, part of CCA installation only. You can see this translation, and these translation files, whichever translation you want, just specify the translation here. So that should be that's a simple option which needs to be set. So just set it and save it, and then run it. The required language translation will be applied, and the data will be exported to SDM.
Perfect. Thanks. For customization of reports through Jasper, could people use the Jasper Studio that's available from their site?
Currently, this release, the customization. Yeah, I mean that's the next release point actually. So I think Vinay has already put that in the enhancement slide.
Exactly. So, we would receive next release, probably you could have a Jasper Studio where you could create your custom report, and then you could you'd get an option in our UX where it says like upload your report, and once you do that, you would get that report and you could see directly in the UX. But that's part of our next release. It's in our roadmap.
Perfect. Thank you.
And there's been certain questions on the upgrades, like so if there is a customer who's basically having CAB, Boxy, and has CCA, he has all this big elephant he needs deployment, say. So whenever he's taking 12.8 SP3, right, he just needs to upgrade the existing CCA installation to basically just needs to upgrade here. So whatever like the folders related to CAB or Catalyst, everything will be automatically deleted. And you basically land up in a smaller piece wherein you just have CCA related files. So upgrades are like fairly very simple. You just need not worry about your boxing Catalyst stuff. You just need to upgrade the CCA.
And we can just discontinue use of Boxy. Or Catalyst.
Yeah.
We can just cut it off.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's right.
One question. With the Catalyst, we use Catalyst as a normalization process when you're coming from CCA to going down to service desk. There's some normalization of data there. Is that what you were doing when you were using the attribute functionality? Is that how you would normalize the data between the two? Between the CCA and the CMDB?
Yeah, in Catalyst or Boxy, there is a mapping file attributes defined, which is called in Catalyst it is called as a policy file. Yes, the same concept is applied here in the UI. So then instead of going to policy file and restarting the servers and services, it's just here you need to just update the entry, and you need not restart any server. It will automatically consider it.
Right, and so we have a whole Catalyst infrastructure set up in pre-production and production. So basically, if you release this in general, if you GA it, I would bring it in. I would update my configuration automation process. It has Jasper built into it, so Jasper does not need a separate infrastructure or anything, and we would just discontinue our Catalyst connectors and servers and all of that stuff, and we're done.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. I have it. I have the beta version, that you guys sent. So I'm looking at it. I don't really have any death-defying questions. I think Lant is our blueprint expert. I don't think any of that stuff changes. So I'm good. My concern is the integration, the cutover from Catalyst, how smooth we can make the transition. I did a entire installation from scratch in our development environment to test it out, but for production it's going to be an upgrade. So if you don't see any gotchas there. And this is Brian. I'm with the Veterans Administration.
Yeah, Brian, we have done a good amount of testing on our upgrade scenarios, and as of now, everything looks hell and hearty, so it should, work straightforward for you guys.
Oh, when do you think this is going to be G8? When do you think it's going to be released?
December 22nd. That's another 15 days from now.
Oh, very good. All right.
Thank you.
Well, the performance is definitely better. I can say, if I can't say anything else, trying to keep a Catalyst infrastructure up and running has been a challenge. So, and our bottleneck has always been, not the jobs coming from CCA, but you're right, how long it takes to get that information down to the CMDB, TWA has been some of the issue.
Yeah, even with the reporting, right, he just, with the reporting, we had a lot of problems with CABI. We had some limitations on, we could just plot X number of CAs. But with this, we've seen that it's fast scalable, and also the reports were like coming in flash. So that was one great part we could see from JasperSoft. Yeah,
well, also you streamline the entire infrastructure, because we do have a separate infrastructure, server and stuff for Catalyst, and because of reporting, we have a separate infrastructure and a separate server for CABI. So that's 2 servers and 2 different maintenance points gone. Very good. Very good. I have no further questions. No, I'm good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the walkthrough. Very good.
Thank you. And I just missed one point when I wanted to tell on the consideration, the epics we will be considering, right? So the other thing which we will be considering is, moving to Java 8, and we would basically not have Java as part of our installers. Right now, our installers are tied up with Java, right? So we just wanted to come out. We wanted, you guys to configure the Java, because you get security updates regularly, right? So we wanted you guys to configure that, and we wanted to come out of the Java and the CCA interlock. And we'd also be certifying Java 8 in our upcoming release.
So right now, if you release 12.8.3, what version of Java comes with it?
1.7.
1.7?
1.7. Yeah.
Now, does it work with 1.8 or 7 is the default?
So we haven't tested with 1.8. It should work fine, but we haven't. I think just correct me, but I think we have done some high-level testing on that. But there's still some sort of certification test cases which are pending. But we've done some high-level sanity tests, and things are working fine right now.
Right. Well, the VA is huge, and I think right now from their CRISP tests, they're looking at 1.8 as their base. I don't think they're going to have a big problem with 1.7. Anything below 1.7, which is 1.6 and below, we can't even bring in the door. 1.7 is fine, but their baseline starting soon is going to be 1.8. So, if it comes in the door, if CCA 12.8.3 comes in the door at 1.7, I think we're fine. But we're going to need to, at some point, upgrade the Java version to 1.8, so. And also,
that soon.
Go ahead.
You get that soon, that's one of our priority items for our next release, so that will be there very soon. And also one more information which I could probably pass is, like, C has purchased extended support for 1.7, which would last till July 2019. So, we are even in a good shape there, but still we would be supporting 1.8 from next release.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think we've answered almost all the questions in the Q&A box. In case we haven't, we'll make a note of that and mail you guys accordingly. So if there are no further questions, I think we are done from our team. Kat, it's all yours now.
Yep, I'm good.
Does anyone else on the call have any other questions?
Oh, one more question. One more before we go. Just to make sure I understand. The customized report facility for CCA using the new reporting tool, that's not available. That's available right out of the box, or that's something additional? The ability to create. Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, thank you everyone for joining today. And if you think of anything else, please visit the community and you can ask there and everyone will be happy to assist you. Have a great day. Thank you guys for presenting.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for your time. Bye-bye.
All right.